whenever we get to turtle, we get around here. We can look to insert hooks down here, but we can also look to just isolate the near arm here. First thing I want to make sure of is that I'm always behind Philip's elbow here. If Philip's elbow gets behind me, he can start to get into single legs, he can start to attack my back, it's no good. Okay, so I want minimum my rear leg, which is my left leg in this case, I want it behind his elbow. Now we're just gonna start with a partner who has open elbows here in a base turtle. I'm gonna look to get my knee under his elbow here. So I'm gonna kind of knee slide in and get this elbow out. What I wanna do from here is I wanna lock a seat belt and I wanna throw my heel to my knee here. Okay, if we can, we want to rake this arm back, and now we're in a nice crucifix here. From here, I no longer need the seat belt, so I open my hands up. I'm gonna look to collect his free arm here and grab it here right by the knuckles. So I'm not grabbing the wrist, I'm not pulling his fingers, I'm grabbing the knuckles right here, like this, and I can fold this in. So when Philip tries to free that hand, it's very difficult. I can be very sticky with this grip here. Okay, now I have an arm free here to work for a choke, and just also work for base here. Okay, so that's option number one. Option number two, it's basically the same setup. We get in, we slide in, we throw the heel over, we lock the seatbelt. This time I feel like I can't rake this arm back for Philip here. So what I want to do is I want to go to my back instead. So I'm thinking about knee sliding through, just pulling him on my back here. Rotate. So I want to make sure we get to here. My chest stayed behind his shoulders and his head here. I have the seatbelt until I get him here, and then I look for the same control. I'm looking to control this free hand here. My legs just stay tight here, make sure he doesn't slip the wrist out. And now I have a hand free to work for chokes. So 2 options from the same setup. Sometimes we have to go to our backs, sometimes we can stay on top. So when you get in here, you want your knee behind that elbow, slide through, step heel to knee. If we can, look, I want to rake this arm back to here, keeping everything close. I want to collect and grab by the knuckles here, and now I'm in a great position to attack. If we go back here, sometimes it's difficult for some reason to get in here. We feel like we're losing our balance. Just want to lock our seatbelt, and I'm thinking about sliding through and pulling him on top of me here. So, important thing through this whole thing here is keep your chest to his back. If my choke arm is with my right arm, I'm going to keep my head on the left side here, his body. I'm going to look for this wrist. If I can't find it, I just keep like this cup here until I can find it, and I glue it closed here. Make sure you're grabbing the knuckles, and you really want to twist that hand. It should be very, very difficult for him to free his hand, okay? Let's just work with these 2 setups. One where we just rake in the arm, and second where we like knee slide through and go to our backs, okay? Let's grab a partner, try it on free, 1, 2, 3. What I want you to encourage you with this position is we basically got to be ready to work at it in 2 situations. The first one, and I would say the preferred one, is here when we stay on our knees and both our chests are pointing to the mat. This is what we want to use fancy English language. We call this the prone position. So we're here, both our chests are facing the mat. This is great because I'm on top, I'm on my knees, I'm in good base, I can bail on the position, and I'm still on top and I'm still behind him, okay? When we look to choke from here, what we want to do, focus on here is, of course, keeping the arms away from his neck. And we really want to get our elbow deep. We want our elbow all the way under the chin. So the problem here, normally when we work from here, is people are really shallow and they just get their hand right about the shoulder here, okay? It's not good enough against tough people who don't tap for nothing here. We want our elbow through. So, let's move a little closer, Philip. So, this hand, to start us, it's just out here to base, okay? As long as I'm behind him here and I'm controlling both arms, I'm good. When I'm ready to choke, I want to think about bringing my arm back here. And I want to think about not just throwing my hand through, but more throwing my elbow through here. So I want to punch my elbow below his chest here. So if we take Philip up here, I want to think about bringing my elbow down here to get my hand deep. I want my hand above his trap here. That's my target. So we get in here. We collect the hand. I want to think about throwing the elbow deep and then the hand above the trap. To lock everything in, I put my chin over my hand here. Now everything here comes from the elbow. I'm pinching my elbow in and I'm pulling it across my shoulders here. So don't think about the hand, think about punching the elbow to his chest and then crawl the hand over the trap. We want to lock everything in a circle here by putting our chin over our hand. Now to finish, I'm thinking about holding my hand with my chin and my elbow goes down and pulls towards my back. So I'm using my back muscles to really close off this space here. So we get in, think about bringing your elbow down and then crawl the hand high. Chin on top of your hand, elbow goes into his chest and then over his shoulder. And it's really tight. So that's the prone finish. Now, what will we go on our back? Okay, when we go to our back here, we're in the supine position. It's when both our chests are facing the ceiling here. I want to collect the hand here. Now from here, it's more about working under the chin. It's easier for him to tuck his chin here, okay? So from here, I'm gonna show it also on the knees, but I'm just gonna show it here first. I wanna start my thumb knuckle behind his ear, and I wanna work everything down till I get under the chin. Once I get under the chin, my hand crawls up, and it's the same target above the trap muscle, lock in. We can show it on our knees here. So Philip just brings his head up, so a little closer here. So pay attention here. Everything's tucked in here. I'm looking to start my thumb knuckle here with a flat fist right behind the ear. I work under the chin, and once my thumb is under the chin, I open the hand up and I crawl all the way up to the trap. From here, it's the same finish as before. Chin on top of the hand, elbow goes in, goes around the corner. Okay, so when we're prone, it's more about punching the elbow through and then crawling the hand high. When we're supine here, it's more about starting behind the ear with your thumb knuckle and a flat fist, and once you get your thumb under the chin, you open your hand, crawl everything up behind the trap, chin on top of the trap, and finish. Okay? So let's spend some time working this. Elbow deep. When you're prone, walk everything in when you're supine. Let's try it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. We gotta remember that we still have the arm available, all right? So I wanna make sure that this arm is raked in nice here. Once when I'm in the prone position here, I wanna collect everything in here. Maybe I feel like it's hard to get under the neck from here, and I don't wanna roll through if I don't need to. So the arm here is open for business. I can, if you know Casper's dog bar, where you your hips into the person's knee, we're doing the same thing here in the arm. We're hipping into the elbow here, but we need the arm extended. Let's move a little bit, Philip, so they can see the arm. So what I'm looking for here, hand is out for base. I'm looking to slide my knee close to his wrist here to extend his arm. My other leg goes in and I lock a triangle here. Now, to really get this tight, I want to knee walk back and I want to think about putting his elbow right on my hip bone. Yeah, once it's there, I just flare up and my hip touches his elbow here. So what I'm looking for is I need the arm extended first, and my knee and leg is kind of pulling the wrist in, and I put my hip bone right on the elbow here and very slowly drop it down to hyperextend the arm. It's very critical you do this slow. Sometimes your partner don't know what's going on and all of a sudden they feel like their elbow is about to explode. So you want to go slow with this. So from here, I'm controlling the hand still, but this hand now is more just out for base. Look at my knee here. I'm opening my knee and I'm sliding everything down here by the wrist to get this effect here. My other leg locks in as a triangle here, and I'm knee walking back here. I want to put my hip bone right on top of his elbow here. From here, I open the hips, I open the knees so the hip can drop right into the elbow. Very, very powerful arm lock here. Now, we can do the same thing supine. So, I get poor Philip here, sit him through. Boom. A little bit. Let's just, from here, he can wiggle a little bit more. So I want to really control his head and shoulder here. So what I'm looking to do is actually to cross face him here. My hand comes in, and I lock my arms tight here so it's hard for him to move his head. Now, look at the elbow here. Same thing as before. I want to slide my knee close to the wrist here and keep everything open. Yeah. From here, his elbow is on my left hip. So I'm opening my knee here and putting my hip in. Think about this. Tension in the arm, you want it fully extended before you start to open your hips. You want to put your hip bone right here, and then you focus on flaring your knee. So heel goes to the butt and you flare your knee open here. If your partner can wiggle their arm, they can stop the lock. So we want full tension. So one more time, supine here. Here. The more he can move his head and shoulders, the more he can try to counteract this lock. Yeah. So we want to bring our arm deep here and lock wrist to wrist so it's hard for him to move his head. Now look at the arm here. I keep my heel close to my butt, but I slide my knee open right into his wrist. My other foot can stay close here. From here, knee opens up, hip bone right to the elbow. Guys, to tap on this one, you basically got to use your voice or your foot assertively, okay? If you try to do this with your fingers while someone's breaking your arm, that fucking sucks, okay? Just use your voice or your feet. People will know you tap, but it's better than walk home with a broken arm, okay? So let's try these two finishes. Be very precise with them. Put your hips in very slowly, okay? Let's try it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Especially here from the supine position, so when we're on our backs here. It's all about thinking about, okay, what does an armbar do? I want to bring his hand back, and I want to bring his elbow the opposite way of where it's supposed to go, right? His elbow is supposed to go this way. It's not supposed to go that way. So I want a scissor effect of bringing the hand back and bringing the elbow forwards. So what I'm looking for here, once I've locked the face up, is if you just look at the legs. Look at his hand right here. I want to set my right leg here to bring the hand back. So my heel goes to my butt and my knee opens up to bring the hand back. Now I just need to look at his elbow here. It goes this way. So I want to pull back here and push the elbow the opposite way. I need full contact. If there's space here, it's not going to work. So I want everything close. I can just look for the angle here. Okay, so when I flare my knee and pull my heel to my butt, the hand goes back, and because when I open this, the hip automatically comes forward. So here and here. I don't hip in that much, I just open up slowly. So poor Philip has time to tap. And same thing on top. From here, when you have this triangle here, you want to work your way down to the wrist. You want to look at his elbow here. I see it right here. There's a lot of space here. I'm just moving my body back, finding this here. Heels to the butt, knee open, and hip pushes in. Full contact. So my hip is pushing forward here, and his hand goes back. And it all comes from me curling my heel to my butt, flaring my knee. To work this in the same time. Yeah? He can try to twist his arm, but the more I control him, the more difficult it's going to be. And if he's really focused on the arm, I'll go right back to the neck. That's what's so sinister about this position, that once you overcommit to defending one place, I go in another, okay? Let's just work on this. Just try to work on setting your legs real tight. It takes some time to get accustomed to, but it's worth investing in because it's just a badass submission, to be honest, okay? Let's try it on 3. 1, 2, 3.